Your life begins like most do, being born. You live on an island that's surrounded by naked giants that eat people, but you don't know that yet. All you know right now is that you're in a log cabin. Your dad is some white dude and an ackerman, that'll be important later, and your mom looks notably different from everyone else, with black hair and almond-shaped eyes. That'll be important in a bit too. For now, you live peacefully, running around outside by yourself and learning how to do some weird kind of embroidery from your mom. No tablet baby here. Don't get too crochet crazy though, because we're about to switch on survival mode. It starts when you turn 9 years old, and just as you think your mom's picking up a needle for another thrilling round of poking a piece of cloth until you get a pretty picture, it turns out that today, you're the cloth, and the picture she's poking into you is some weird symbol. All the explanation you get is that it's something that gets passed down in your family. That reasoning just raises more questions than answers for you, but that should be the least of your concerns right now, because unfortunately, your parents are about to become trees in RuneScape, and some adventurers are nearby looking to level up their woodcutting. You hear a knock at the door, and your dad opens it only to be cut down before you can know what hit him. It turns out that your mom looked different from everyone else because she's from a place called Asia, and there aren't many Asians on the island anymore. So bandits hunt them down and sell them off because of their rarity. That being said, they want to take you and your mom alive, but she puts up a fight, so she gets cut down too. Everything goes black for a moment, and you wake up bound at some other cabin. By the sound of the arguing bandits near you, your parents are gone and you're about to be sold off. But suddenly, a boy around your age barges in like John Wick and takes out 2 of the bandits. He helps untie you and says that everything's gonna be okay now. But then you remember, wait, there were 3 RuneScape adventurers and you took out 2 of them. The numbers just aren't adding up here. Well before you can finish crunching the numbers, the 3rd bandit walks in and starts beating up on the kid that just saved you. At this point, you have 2 choices. Pick up the knife in front of you and fight back, or let the bandit do his business and get sold to the highest bidder. You're understandably scared at first, but then something in your head suddenly clicks, and you're able to pierce the guy right through the heart with enough force that it broke the floorboard where you planted your foot. Congratulations, you just took your first life at the age of 9. That's gonna be a trend from now on for you, actually. Bummer. Well now, your parents have something in common with a dad that's, quote, only leaving for milk and cigarettes. Can you guess what it is? Yep, they're both not coming back, and you're not getting any milk. So you either have to take your chances in the wilderness on hardcore mode, or you can go live with that 9-year-old that you just saw take out 2 grown men, and the dad that saw this and chopped it up to kids being kids. Well, at least this scarf is warm. Fast forward a bit, and now you're living inside Wall Maria, still staying with that stabby kid. His name's Eren, and you've also made a new friend named Armin. He's kind of a nerd and weirdly androgynous, but he's nice. Ever since that day that you turned that bandit into a kebab, you've become pretty strong and agile, so you spend a lot of time keeping them both from getting beaten up. Kind of annoying, but you're overall pretty happy again. But again, not for long. One day, when you're outside playing Beyblades with your friends, a large bolt of lightning crashes from the sky, and one of those people-eating giants is seen peeking over the wall. That wall's 50 meters tall, so this one definitely drank his milk. That's a big boy. He kicks a hole in the wall and a bunch of debris flies all over the place, taking out people in the surrounding area and creating an opening for tons of other naked giants to make it inside. They're smiling, but they're not here to chill. They're all wearing black Air Force Ones, so you know what type of business they stand on. Among the chaos, you, Armin, and Eren rush to his house to see if it's okay, but that wouldn't make for a juicy plot, so sure enough you come home and everything's destroyed, with Eren's mom stuck under the rubble. Before you can try and help her out, one of the titans that seems to have a Karen haircut picks up Eren's mom and eats her as you flee the scene. As you travel inside the second wall to safety, you see Eren with the face only a mother could love, and his mother's gone now, so, yeah. He calls out that he'll kill every last titan. Oh yeah, these naked giants are called titans, apparently. And since you eternally owe him one for saving your life, that means that you're probably tagging along for that ride. Cool. Fast forward again, about 5 years this time, and the 3 of you are in the military now. Armin and Eren are kinda mid, but you're pretty nice with it apparently. Like, one of the best the military has ever seen nice with it. Training is over and things have been pretty peaceful since the fall of Wall Maria. So overall, you're pretty happy. Uh-oh. You know what that means. You should know better. The Ohio final boss of all titans is back, and kicks a hole in the wall like you did the last time. Being a public servant now, your job is to help civilians escape safely. But before you split with Eren, you tell him not to do anything stupid and he promises that he won't. Once you take care of your evacuation business, you find out that Eren's been eaten by a titan that looks kind of like Santa Claus. Oh, and also the gear you use to fly around like mosquitoes are running out of gas. Not ideal. But eventually, you find some galaxy gas for all the troops, and get saved by a titan that for some reason is beating up on the other titans like they just called his sister a big back. Apparently, it was Eren controlling the titan, like some kind of fleshy Gundam. Seeing this, the rest of the military thinks it's kind of sus that they just saw Eren pop out of a titan. But he says, look, I can take off these black air forces and put them back on whenever I want. They're still pretty hesitant for a bit, but eventually they accept him. At this point, this Eren guy has been a whole lot of trouble for you, but he's all you have, so you just keep rolling with the punches, until you join the Survey Corps with him. Apparently, dealing with these flesh-eating giants whenever they appear wasn't enough. Now you're part of a group that actively leaves the walls to go hang out with them, where they live. On one of your Titan sightseeing missions, you get stationed in the woods somewhere, when you find out that Eren's been taken by a Titan that seems to watch a lot of UFC. Man, this guy is turning out to be a real pain in the... As you rush to save him, you witness as the female Titan eats Eren, but with some help you eventually get him back, although the female Titan escapes. A little bit later, you find out that the female Titan is one of your own. Her name's Annie, and she tries to make an escape, but you do your best Motombo impression and say, nah, not today. Before you can finish her off, she turns herself into sugar candy, and you also notice there's a big ass Titan chilling inside the wall, and he's alive. I wonder if that'll be important later. It will. That's not the only enemy from within though, because it turns out, two of the people that have been with you since the beginning, Bertold and Reiner, are actually the Titans responsible for breaching the walls twice. Bertold's the Ohio final boss, aka the Colossal Titan, and Reiner is the Armored Titan. Now knowing this, you try taking Reiner out right there and then, but what you're about to find out is that this Titan has a special type of armor that no one can break through. It's called plot armor. So he survives with the help of Bertold, and you go unconscious as they escape. You wake up to find out that Eren got kidnapped by them hours ago. Man, seriously, this guy is a real pain in the... After heading out to stop the fleeing traitors, you get into another tussle with them. And to make matters worse, a swarm of NPC mindless Titans end up joining the fight. One of them catches you and crushes your ribs. That doesn't feel good. But thankfully, Eren does something he's never done before. Be useful. And he manages to stop the Titan that ate his mom from eating them, by somehow getting other fodder Titans to attack and eat it. They manage to retreat, but Reiner and Bertold get away again. Don't worry though, they'll be back for some more no-do-goodery once again, soon enough. Some time passes, and you're tasked with protecting Eren and some girl named Historia, and all of you get stationed at some safe house. You're used to babysitting this guy at this point, so it's no big change. However, you soon find out that the royal bigwigs want Eren and Historia turned over to them, but you and your team say, nah, I don't wanna. Congratulations, now you're considered a traitor. As you would assume, they don't like that very much. So after a few attempts to kidnap the two, they eventually succeed, with the help of a guy named Kenny Ackerman. Wait a second, Ackerman? My dad was one of those guys, you think to yourself. Your captain, Levi Jeans, explains that you, him, and Kenny all have some connection that makes you superhuman somehow. That seems like something you should dig deeper on, but sorry, there's no time for that. Eren needs rescuing for the 275th canonical time, so you put that aside for now. You find Eren tied up at what appears to be the Fortress of Solitude, ready to be eaten by Historia, who is being forced to become a Titan and carry on the family lineage. Apparently through a process known as somehow, and at some point, Eren's dad, Grisha, became the Attack Titan, ate the royal family's founding Titan, which is important apparently, and then turned Eren into a Titan, so that he could eat Grisha. It's essentially Kirby rules, where the last one to chomp wins. Anyway, you managed to save Eren, but now you have to deal with the guy that organized this whole kidnapping mess, Rod Reese, who's now transformed into a massive Titan that's dragging himself on all fours to knock down Wall Cena. You eventually stop him with a few booms, and that settles that. Next, you and your team decide that enough is enough with these Titans breaking down walls and pushing you around, so it's time to get your get back. Oh, and there's also this basement over there apparently, that belonged to Eren's dad with some important loot. Yeah, that's gonna be important. The plan is to seal the hole in Wall Maria, the same hole and wall that started this whole Titan business way back then. And you managed to succeed, with the help of Eren's new Crystal Guy powers, so this makes you happy. Crap, wait a second. No, I'm not smiling, I just have to take a dump. Reiner and Bertolt suddenly appear to stir up some trouble, and this time they brought the Donkey Kong Titan. After you use some new weapon called the Thunder Spear to pop Reiner right out of his Titan, along with all of his limbs, pretty much putting him in nugget form, you meet up with the others, only to find out that they forgot to take Armin out of the air fryer. So he's about to die, and the only way to save him is to turn him into a Titan and have him eat Bertolt to gain his powers. Remember, Kirby rules. After some arguing, Armin is eventually saved. Nice. But now's the moment of truth, the basement. You have finally unlocked this location on your fast travel map, and can go inside. Here you find out that there's a whole world out there full of people that are traveling by magical machines, while you're still here whittling your own toothbrushes. What's worse is that you find out you're on this island because it's the only place that'll keep you from being blown to smithereens by the rest of the world, who apparently doesn't take too kindly to a race of people that can megamorph into monsters. What's even worser is that all the mindless Titans you've been taking down were all once normal people that were forced to put on black Air Force Ones and live as monsters forever by a country named Marley. And oh yeah, they want you dead more than anyone else. To top it all off, you find out that Eren only has a handful of years to live, which is the price of having his power. So that bums you out for a while and you lose some weight, but eventually you feel better and see the ocean for the first time. It looks pretty nice. But Eren takes a dump on everyone's good time by reminding you that there are people on the other side of that ocean that want you all dead. Eren's been kind of a buzzkill in general lately. About a year passes and you've made some new friends that are from Marley but want to help your cause instead. War is afoot between your island of Paradis and Marley, and Eren wants to strike first, like the edgelord he apparently is now. But you try a more diplomatic route first. You end up meeting a woman from a place called Hizuru, who shows you a flag of their clan, the Azumabito clan. Hold up, I know I've seen that symbol before. Wait, I see it right now. It's on my arm. It turns out, you're actually a descendant of royalty, and your mom was passing down the family name with that stick and poke tattoo she gave you. Whoa. So now apparently you're half superhuman from your dad's side, and half queen from your mom's side. Well, how about that? Fast forward a few years and Eren's been missing for a while, but you eventually get a letter from him, stating that he's been infiltrating Marley this whole time, and is planning a surprise attack. Man, I almost forgot. This guy really is the biggest pain in the... As Eren begins his assault, you show up in these cool flying balloon things, called Led Zeppelins or something like that, and help recover Eren. You successfully pull him out of there, but suffer some losses. But things aren't all flowers and rainbows now that Eren's back though. I mean, when is it ever, right? But things are different this time. Eren seems more hostile than you remember. And at the same time, there seems to be some kind of revolution going on from within the military of Paradis. Well, apparently in the time Eren's been gone, he's built up a bit of a fan club, calling themselves the Yaegers. Eren's in jail now for, starting a world war. But he breaks out to meet up with the Jägermeisters, and they're ready to take control. You're pretty heartbroken that he'd pull a fast one on you like that. Like you didn't save his life a million freaking times. He even rubs salt in the wound by coming back only to tell you that he's always hated you, and that ackermans were wired to protect the founding Titan. So essentially, looking after him is literally in her DNA. In layman's terms, he pretty much calls you a bot. He beats up on Armin a bit and then leaves. Then you find out that Eren is apparently teaming up with the Donkey Kong Titan, aka Zeke, aka Eren's half-brother, to euthanize all Eldians. Man, that's pretty effed up. But not as effed up as what Eren's real plan is. See, in a massive twist, Eren pulls out a rag and starts rubbing his white Air Force Ones and reveals that they were black this entire time. Gasp. Eren's real plan is to use all the Titans inside the wall to trample the entire world outside the island. No people means no enemies, and no enemies means no problem, right? Well, that doesn't sit right with you or the others, so you team up with Reiner and the former enemy to stop the new enemy, Eren, who's now a massive millipede ribcage thing, leading an army of colossal Titans on a mission to flatten the entire Earth, taking out billions in the process. We don't want that. There are some bumps in the road along the way, but you finally get on a plane that helps you reach Kaiju Eren. After some Titan shenanigans on his back, where past Titan shifters spawn and try stopping you, it turns out that one of the Marleyan kids you were with learned how to fly somehow, and takes you all to safety. Although Armin, the androgynous man, has been taken by an Okapi Titan and he's still back there, so you gotta go get him. They finally realize that they can't reason with Eren, so now they have to take him out. You don't like that at all because he's your closest friend, and you low-key kind of love him, but it has to be done. You head back to Kaiju Eren and fight your way to the Okapi Titan, saving Armin. Now comes the final gym battle, taking out Eren. Armin opens up a can of spinach and eats it, transforming into the Colossal Titan, but the blast doesn't kill Eren. He's just hopped over to a new ride. And so begins the world's largest backyard boxing match, with colossal yet still androgynous Armin fighting against a colossal Eren. Amidst all the ruckus, Birdman Titan gives you a ride to where Eren is, or at least what's left of him. He's just a head on life support at this point, and you unplug the cord, before giving him a kiss goodbye. And here you are, you just spent most of your life keeping this guy from getting whacked, only for you to be the one that finally takes him fishing. Oh, the irony. The stampede of Titans stops and the world is saved. 85% of the world's already been ran over, but hey, it was an honest day's work. Close enough. As you would imagine, the rest of the world isn't exactly stoked on you right now, but they're mostly focused on rebuilding, so the island is safe for a while. You get to grow old, content that all your trauma and sacrifice didn't go in vain, because the world is now at peace. Just kidding, everything gets destroyed later anyway. You can blame the author for that one.